Welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our NFL preseason DFS picks. Week 1 Saturday. Week 1 of the preseason, easily the most difficult portion of the preseason to try to predict because coaches really don't know what direction they want to go in terms of allotting time, which really makes it tough to predict for who's going to see the field, and then especially in the case of receivers, who's going to see the targets? Are they going to come down with the targets? It's a crapshoot, and that's what makes the preseason so much more difficult. You can do all kinds of research and find out where the edge is going to be and still be a little bit off because the players still have to come through. Like, you don't get credit just because the targets were there if he doesn't come through with them. So I'm going to give you one quarterback, one running back, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end that I'm going to work with tonight. Let's start things off with Jared Goff. And typically we don't want to look for starting players week 1 of the preseason. I just believe Goff could very well be a special circumstance. Second-year quarterback, new coach, new tackle, new weapons. I can't imagine that they just want to, in actual gameplay, go out and say, okay, Jared Goff, you've got one series and then you're coming off. I just don't see that being the case. I know a lot of people have been very hard on Jared Goff, but I still believe the talent's there. You cannot write someone off for 1 year of production in what arguably may have been the worst quarterback situation outside of Cleveland and San Francisco. Like, that's how bad it was. Off the field factors, coaches, lines, opportunities, things like that. I'm going hard with them. Dallas is a poor defense. It's going to be an awful secondary all year long, and the preseason isn't going to help matters. We just saw them make Blaine Gabbert look like a competent quarterback. So that's all I feel like I need to say there. I'm using some Jared Goff tonight. Running back, couple of guys I really like. Elijah McGuire at the top of my list. I've liked this guy for a while, coming out of college. Just one of my favorite players to watch. If you ever listen to the College Football Pros podcast that I did several years ago, you'll know my affinity for Elijah McGuire. But with Matt Forte and Bilal Powell banged up, this guy's been getting all of the carries. I expect him to see a good amount of action in the preseason. Whether he can turn that into production or not is an entirely different story altogether. I cannot control that. But I do think the opportunities will be there for him. And he's a good pass catcher, too. That was one of the things coming out of ULL that made him extremely special, is that he can do everything in the backfield. Next up, let's go with Jaydon Mickens of the Oakland Raiders. Tough push between him and KJ May. KJ May played yesterday. But I'm going to go with Mickens. Like the talent here. Think that they're going to try to use him, see what they've got. I don't think things are settled in Oakland quite yet. Yeah, you know, Cooper Crabtree, but then you've got Streeter, Cordero Patterson, Mickens, Brent. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for someone to step up and see a significant role. I'm going to go with Taywan Taylor, though I do love Cooper Kupp tonight as well. We've heard a lot of things about the quality of play Taywan Taylor's putting together in training camp. Let's see what he's got. Last year, Tajay Sharp was a pretty solid option for this Titans team in the preseason. No reason that Taylor can't be as well. Again, another guy I think who's going to see ample time on the field. I believe he can get it done. He's used to producing at a high level. I want him in my lineups tonight. Tight end, Rico Gathers is going to be a solid option. I want to go to Gerald Everett. Solid name in college for tight end production when the tight end really isn't being used as much as it used to be. I believe he played at South Alabama Jaguars. Sounds like it's where he played. He made my DFS teams a lot. I lament the fact that we've only got one small site to play on. Nonetheless, I digress. I think that they'll split time between he and Tyler Higbee. I expect him to be a factor in the red zone, if nothing else, and touchdowns are of the utmost important in the preseason. If he happens to come down with one of them, probably not going to be outscored at the position. So, Gerald Everett, someone I'm looking at tonight. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone checking us out. In the meantime, see what we've got going on at researchfantasy.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win, and join us again tomorrow.